Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am super excited to be sharing a swatch and review for the new ILNP Splashed collection, which just came out a couple weeks ago, and it is this gorgeous jelly formula with a really fine but super sparkly holographic flaky in there. This collection is just right up my alley, and I'm so excited to just share it with you guys. And stay tuned because I'll be doing some comparisons after the swatches. So let's just get into it. So first up is Poppy, which is described as a punchy poppy red jelly with a scattered holographic flaky and matching red shimmer. So since this collection is juicy, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a raspberry red kind of a jelly. I think it just fits the vibes a little bit better. But yeah, this one has such a lovely formula on the first coat. Of course, I'm going to be doing two for full opacity. And I feel like this red leans a little bit orange, which isn't my fave personally, but it does make it more appropriate for summer. I think if it was darker, it would kind of look more like a holiday red, you know? Next up is Euphoria, which is described as a vibrant orange jelly with beaming orange glimmer and hollow flakies. So just like the last polish, this one had such a beautiful formula where I feel like on the first coat, it really gives it that jelly sandwich type of look, but only in one coat. So I really like this formula. This color is really pretty. Even though normally I don't go for sparkly orange shades, I'm really curious about how this would look in October. I know, I'm getting so ahead of myself, but let me know if you would wear this summer. Next, we have Staycation, a juicy kiwi green jelly that again has that same hollow flaky and matching shimmer throughout. So I'm not sure if you can tell from the bottle, but this one was super sheer. And it was honestly a bit of a bummer. I'm not sure why this one, I mean, it's the lightest from the collection, but for whatever reason, the jelly base just isn't as pigmented. So on the first coat, it doesn't really give you the same even coverage that you saw on the previous two shades or even on the rest of the shades from the collection. So it was just really weird. Applying a second coat does help, but you could see some bald spots here and there. So I ended up needing 3 coats to get this one fully opaque and give it that same effect as the other polishes on 2 coats. So for that reason, it's a little bit of a miss. I mean, I still love the color. I love a lime green for summer, but the 3 coats is a little much. Next up is Seaside, which is described as a dynamic ocean blue jelly with the same matching shimmer and hollow flakies. So I think this is a really pretty shade of cerulean blue, and it's honestly pretty unique to my collection. The downside is that I think this has a slightly similar formula to Staycation, where it's a little bit more on the jelly side, but because it has more of a darker base, it automatically looks like it just gives more even coverage on one coat. So I could see this being one of those shades where you might need 3 coats. I'm only doing 2 for my swatch, and I think you still could see a little bit of my nail line, but honestly, it just didn't bother me enough to do a 3rd coat. I think the color is just so stunning and distracting enough that I didn't care to do one. So next we have Unforgettable, which is an electric grape jelly with those same hollow flakies, but this one says it has a magenta sparkle as opposed to a matching purple shimmer. So this one is more of a cool toned purple, and it actually looks kind of light when you first apply it, but like most of the others, it has a really easy formula and provides pretty even coverage for the most part. If you want the color that's in the bottle though, you'll need at least another coat to deepen it. And for my swatch, I'm just doing 2 coats, and I think it looks pretty opaque. So can you pick up on that magenta shimmer? It's kind of hard to tell, but I did my best to capture it. You'll see it more in line with the ring light reflection. But yeah, I think this one is really pretty, even though it's a little dark for summer. And last but certainly not least is Play Date, which is described as a vivid and energetic magenta jelly that again has those matching pink shimmers and hollow flakies throughout. I personally think this is more of a watermelon shade, which on the website is how they described Poppy, which, as you can see, is way more red, and Playdate is more pink. But like Poppy, this one has a really luscious formula. It just looks so even on the first coat that I would be tempted to wear this without doing a second coat. I think it gives it the most convincing jelly sandwich kind of look, and I think it's just the cutest thing for summer. So for the sake of the video, I kept it consistent and I did 2 coats for my swatch so you can see how it builds up to be nice and opaque. And yeah, there's really not much else to say about this polish other than I absolutely love it. It's my favorite, probably to no one's surprise, but I'm curious to know which one was your favorite and if you're planning on picking up this collection, because I saw a few swatches from my friends and I was totally convinced that I needed it, and I'm excited to just keep wearing them all through the summer. So moving on to comparisons, I immediately was reminded of Cirque's Facets collection. So this one is Fire Opal, and I'll also be comparing it to Padparadscha, where they just have the jelly base and these hollow flakies, but Fire Opal is way darker on the nail, and Padparadscha actually looks like it has a more similar base color, but again, it's really those flakies that are just super, super different from both of these collections. So yeah, here is what 2 coats of each looks like. There's no dupes. For Euphoria, I'm going to be comparing it to Talon Polish Mindy, which came out last summer, but it's way more sparse and can even pass as a topper depending on how you apply it. And it is also more of a yellowy orange micro glitter without any holographic flakies. And the only other polish that I have that's slightly similar is Zyler the cat from Holo Taco, but this is more of a chunky orange holographic micro glitter. So here's what they look like with 2 coats of each, not dupes. Next, I'm comparing Staycation with Cupcake Polish Magic. They're the most similar in terms of color, but the Cupcake polish features a holographic micro glitter instead of the flakies, and the holo is much stronger than the ILNP. I also wanted to compare it to Cirque's Cannabliss, which came out earlier this year, because I feel like they kind of have a similar color, especially in the bottle, like way more similar than I initially thought. But because Cannabliss is a magnetic polish, it has more of a velvet effect even if you don't use the magnet. So no dupes here either. Next, I'm comparing Seaside with Cirque's Aquamarine, which is another from their Facets line. And yeah, they are nothing alike. Like I mentioned when I was swatching Seaside, it is pretty unique to my collection. So yeah, I have no dupes here. Now for Unforgettable, I actually have Cirque Spinel, which is the closest that I have to a dupe. It just happens to be a few shades darker, but they are both super gorgeous, sparkly purples. I would love to know which one is your favorite. And then lastly, for Play Date, I have another Talon polish from last summer. This one is called Cher, and this one, again, is a really sparse, light pink glitter topper. There's no holo. And for a holo option, I have Stay Glazy from Painted Polish, which, again, not exactly the same shade of pink, so no dupes here. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think of this collection because I am obsessed. I already talked about it in my summer favorites video that I really enjoy wearing jelly polishes in the summer, and I also shared a bunch of really sparkly shades as well. So generally, this whole collection can just easily explain what I'm looking for in my perfect juicy summer shade. So I'm curious to know what you think, if you're gonna be grabbing any or all of these shades, or if you're just not really feeling them and you're more interested in some bright creams for summer. Let me know any and all thoughts down below, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.